Okay, very good afternoon to all and a very warm welcome everyone on our channel Exampur IS English Medium. Okay, I hope my voice is completely audible everyone and everything is visible now. So, in yesterday's session, we already discussed about the Harappan civilization everyone. Okay. My voice is audible everyone. Let me know first so that I will start the session. Okay. From my side, everything is visible and clear, everyone. We are going to start the session on Indus Valley Civilization. See, yesterday's session is also based on Indus Valley Civilization, and I think Indus Valley Civilization is such a very vast topic in itself. And whenever we discuss about as per the mains perspective, everyone, as per the need of a mains perspective, definitely we can feel that Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization is not only the prominent topic, but this prominent topic is also very much, important as per the mains perspective. So every year, definitely we can see the question on Harappan civilization. Sometimes they are modifying the question. Sometimes they are directly asking the question. I think on the Harappan civilization, we have a numerous of the question they surely ask on us on the Harappan on the as per the need of a mains examination. I would like to mention the questions, everyone. That what types of questions, right? Types of questions. Types of question on what? On Harappan civilization. We can say in the Indus Valley civilization, and surely you can say that the Harappan civilization. Right? Okay. So the first question they asked in 2017 was based on the economy of Harappan civilization, or we can say the Indus Valley civilization, right? The second question they ask about what? After economy, they are asking the question about the social aspects, where they compare the social aspects with the modern India. So what you have to be done in the question, everyone, you at least you have a very good good understanding about the economic, that how the economy and how the society of the Harappan civilization completely impacted the modern Indian civilization, modern culture as well. So this is such a very important part of a discussion in the IVC, Indus Valley civilization. Third question they asked in 2020. In 2020, about whom? They are asking about the question of urbanization. Question on urbanization. And why it is urbanization? They are asking the question on urbanization because surely the word like urbanization is very mandatory, because Indus Valley civilization was the first urban civilization of the whole India. And this is such a very prominent matter of discussion of urbanization, that how the social, economic, cultural aspects of urbanization impacted a lot Harappan civilization, right? So urbanization, and they try to be compared the model of urbanization with Chandigarh. Right, so you have to be very much keen knowledge about urbanization, about the town planning of a Harappan civilization. So these are the question, we can say the diversion of the question they asked directly in the mains examination. And as per the need of a prelims examination, I think मैंने इतना sufficiently बता दिया है आपको, जो कि आपके लिए जानना sufficiently important है और जरूरी भी है. So we are just going to start this session with Harappan civilization, everyone. See, it is very important to understand that what is the meaning of the civilization first of all, right? What is the meaning of the civilization, and what we are going to discuss in this question, everyone. You can see the question on the screen. The question is asking on the did Harappan civilization have any link to other major civilization and distant lands, right? Or Harappan civilization, and what are the findings that point towards such a possibility? See, whenever the question is directly asked on the possibility, the question is not needy of your so much knowledge, right? But it is very important to get aware about the Indus Valley civilization, the social, the economic, the political, the administrative, the cultural aspects of the Indus Valley civilization, the different phases of Indus Valley civilization, the urbanization of the Indus Valley civilization, the market policy of Indus Valley civilization, and definitely the geographical extent of IVC, which is very important as per the need and understanding of the Harappan civilization, right? So what they ask about the link, they are discussing about the link. So how you can create the link with the question, what are the major civilization? I think you have a very much good idea about the Egyptian civilization. You have a very much keen, a good idea about the Mesopotamian civilization. And these are the civilization which are very important as per the discussion, as per the need or understanding with the Harappan civilization, that what we really understand with the meaning of civilization, and how we can exactly link the civilization with the Egyptian and with the civilization with the Mesopotamian. And findings that point towards such a possibility. So possibilities are very important, everyone. How you can create the possibility? Possibility means that we are trying to be link up the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian civilization with it, right? Now, you can see that the Indus civilization also considering as the IVC, and Bronze Age civilization which flourished in the northern region of the Indian subcontinent between 2500 BC, and it is a part of the age means that the people were not aware about iron, right? So whenever we're discussing about the iron, it is showing the interest factor that Harappan civilization people, they are not in get knowledge of the iron, and the Bronze Age civilization is somehow very playing prominent role of it. Fine. So definitely Harappan civilization is a very important playing part of any of the civilization, either the Egyptian, either the Mesopotamian. See, as per the need of the question, everyone, you can see, I think, the geographical correlation, the link that we're discussing in the question, that how we can create the link with the civilization. You can see the name of Mesopotamia, you can see the Egyptian civilization, and you can see the IVC civilization, right? So we have a important, if I'm discussing about three of the important part of the, link up of the civilization, how we can correlating the Indus Valley civilization, which is completely correlating with the Dholavira, the Amara, the Lothal, and the Rangpur, and we cannot forget about the Arabian Sea. Right, and Arabian Sea is not only trying to be link up all these states with the Mesopotamia and the Persian and the Egyptian civilization. This is such a very important part of it, of the discussion. That how the Egyptian civilization and how the Mesopotamian civilization is exactly correlating with each other, and it is such a very important part of our discussion, that how we can creating the correlation, how can we create the link up of anything, the Mesopotamian, the Egyptian, the Persian, and the Dholavira, that how it is very important, showing the interest factor of the people, not only the social, not only the economic, but also the political and the rest of the part of the rest of the parts of the factors that we are trying to be correlating the Egyptian, that the Indus Valley civilization connected with Mesopotamian, right, and the Mesopotamian is connected with the Egyptian civilization. Proto civilization, we have the Central Asia, the northwest and the northwest frontier. Then we have a Arathia, that you can see that Egyptians, we can see that the Tigris River, the Sumer, and how this Indus Valley civilization is completely correlating with it, right? Egyptian, then Egyptian with the Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia with the Indus Valley civilization. And the Central Asia and the Persia is also the part of the interest factor of the any of the civilization, everyone. Now, so it is a very important to understand about the meaning of, first of all, the civilization, that how the civilization, that what we exactly know about the civilization. The word civilization comes from the Latin word of a townsman or the citizens and the civics. See, whenever we use the word like citizen, the citizen is somehow showing the responsibility, right? And to be civilized essentially meant being a townsman, governed by constitution and legal status, we can say that, of the community, right? Community. So there is a differentiation about the culture, about the civilization, and about the community, right? So I would like to mention about the link up of the three of the civilization. See, the three of the civilization, that we have already Indus Valley civilization, the world oldest civilization, we can say surely, and later on we have a civilization like Mesopotamia. We have a civilization like Egyptian. Like, why the Egyptian exactly? See, whenever we're discussing about the Egyptian civilization, definitely we can link up with it. We cannot make sure ourselves the Egyptian civilization have any direct connection with the Mesopotamian civilization, but definitely we can correlating the Indus Valley civilization with the Egyptian civilization, that how it is completely correlating, right? For example, see, if you're looking, that I think the triangle is exactly is showing the correlation and the link up with the civilization. Right, this is all about your Indus Valley civilization, number one. Number two, when we showing the Egyptian civilization, that how the Egyptian civilization is actually correlating, and this is your Mesopotamian civilization. In this triangle, it is very important to understand that Indus Valley civilization have a direct correlation with Egyptian and the Indus Valley civilization. Egyptian don't have any direct correlation with Mesopotamian, but definitely Indus Valley civilization have a direct correlation with whom? The Mesopotamian, right? And Mesopotamian showing the direct correlation with the not only the Egyptian but with the Persian. We can say that the northwest section of the India, the Central Asia, we can say that with the Indus Valley civilization. It is showing that the correlation in the with each other, the IVC with the Egyptian, IVC with the Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamia with the IVC. Fine. So why it is important actually, we cannot forget about the Arabian Sea. We cannot forget about the Arabian Sea, which is showing the direct correlation with the Indus Valley civilization with the Mesopotamia. And two or more things are very common in three of the link up of the civilization. Like, I think three main important, we can see the part, three of the civilization. Right, the first, definitely we cannot forget about IVC, the oldest one. The Mesopotamia we have. Later on we have a Egyptian. The Egyptian, we can say the Egypt civilization. The three main common factors that we have. The one about the economic, and how the economy is based, and your economy is based on agriculture. right? The economy is based on agriculture. And about the society, the social status, we can say that. The social status in Mesopotamia, in IBC, and in the Egyptian civilization. And the religious, definitely, it is completely unforgettable for us, because whenever we're discussing about the symbols like swastik, and the statues like priest, the Pashupati that we have, exactly that we found from the excavation from Indus Valley civilization, we cannot forget about Mesopotamian correlation with the Egyptian civilization, right? And more interesting thing, the town planning. And what about the town planning? This is not only the richest town planning, we can say that well planned, and what is it is showing with the well planning and the richest, the urbanization, the urbanized, right? And what is the definition of urbanization? What is the definition of the urbanization? Right? When we're looking for what? The tools, we can say the techniques, right? The skills, we can say that. The markets we have, the trade and commerce, export and import. I think the market, we can say that definitely is help to making Indus Valley civilization and the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian civilization more rich, and we can definitely say that the more showing the more connectivity with it, right? So this is the urbanization for what? The Egyptian, we can say that. I hope my pen is totally clear, everyone. Yes. And Mesopotamia, and definitely the IVC, Indus Valley civilization. These are the key common features, right? These are the main key features, or we can say the common key features. Not only the urbanization, the Egyptian or the Mesopotamian and IVC for tools, techniques, skills, the markets that they have already, the trade and the commerce, and the we can say the export and import, right? One more important thing, the need of the market. Why we are needy of the market in the urbanization, right? Why we are needy of the markets? हमें markets की need क्यों है, right? We definitely be very much aware that more of the civilization, like the Egyptian, the Mesopotamian, and the IBC, Indus Valley civilization, they have a very common feature that three of the civilization, when we start to link up the three of the civilization, they are showing the interest factor that the social aspects and the common people work is completely dependent on the agriculture, that moreover 90% of the population is completely based on the agriculture, right? So how the agriculture is giving help to emerging in the market system, when their grains and their rest of the parts of that they are found from the factories, that we have already very good examples of the Chahundodwa and the Lothal, that we found the beads factories, they are expanding, and they started to exporting and importing through the help of the rivers. The Tigris river we have on the Mesopotamia, and the Arabian Sea that we try to be linked up with the Egyptian and the Indus Valley civilization, where we have a numerous of the example of the economy. When we started, not only what? The grains, we can say that. Not only the grains, the jewelry, or we can say the beads, the gold, the silver, right? The artifacts, we can say that, the jewelry, we can say that, the utensils, we can say that, and that we found that similar evidences, not only the Indus Valley civilization, but also in the Mesopotamian or also in the Egyptian civilization. And one more thing which it is very important to understand, everyone, how can we differentiate the three of the meaning, like community, not community first of all, the civilization, right? One important thing. Second, it is very important to get to know the terminology like culture. Right, and one more important thing about to discuss on the meaning and the terminology like community. Right, and we have a rest of the three of the cultures. The civilization, the IVC that we have, the Mesopotamia already we have, and we have a Egyptian civilization. Right. So what about the civilization? What about the civilization? When the civilization, I think civilization is definitely that already we have कि हमारे पास जो पहले से था वही हमारी civilization है. Right. That what we learned from the civilization that we have already. Right. And what about the culture? The things that we are pursuing in these days. कि हमने कुछ तो सिविलाइजेशन में से सीखा होगा ना. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिविलाइजेशन एक टाइम के बाद एंड हो जाती है. सिविलाइजेशन डेफिनेटली एंडेड आफ्टर टाइम. Right, but what about the culture that we are pursuing in a very consistent way, in a very continued form? Right, so this is all about the culture and civilization that we learn from the civilization, but we are going to carry forward the culture but not the civilization. And what about the community? Community is specifically a representation of the identification कि मेरा religion क्या है, मेरा culture क्या है, मेरी community क्या है. If I belong from this and this particular caste and creed and sect, so I'm just going to represent कि मैं इस हिंदू रिलीजन से इस कम्युनिटी से बिलोंग करती हूँ. सो दिस इज समहाउ द कोरिलेटेड थिंग्स. और जो सेक्ट और जिस कम्युनिटी की मैं बात कर रही हूँ, फ्रॉम वेयर आई गेट ऑल दिस थिंग्स फ्रॉम द सिविलाइजेशन, फ्रॉम द कल्चर, एंड द कम्युनिटी समहाउ रिप्रेजेंटिंग and somehow representing the isolated terminologies, which is not completely showing the unification, but the word like civilization and the culture showing the unification in any of the country, not only the India. So on the same basis, everyone, whenever we're discussing about the terminologies like the civilization like Indus Valley civilization, the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian, surely the word like civilization and the culture is representing the whole of the unification in the three of the link up of the three of the civilization, which is showing not only the link up in the society, in the economy, we can say that, in the trade and commerce, in the administrative, in the political organization, but surely the civilization and the culture representing the IVC, Mesopotamia and the Egyptian on the same equal platform. Right? But whenever we're discussing about the community, I don't think so that we get any of the examples in the IVC or in the Mesopotamia or the Egyptians like the community. इनका religion क्या था? Even though we have I think we are still, we are not very much aware about the script of the IVC and the Mesopotamia and the Egyptian, that it is representing about the lots of the culture, because the script is still not deciphered. That unfortunately, but definitely when we started to read out more and more things, when we start to excavating more artifacts, when we started to focusing on the more exposure on the rest of the three of the civilization, so surely we will get know. But I would like to make sure one thing, that the word like community, the word like religion is not existing anywhere, right? In the specifically of three of the religion, three of the civilization. So, okay. Now, what is civilization? Culture and civilization are two terms used by interchangeably. That civilization is completely connected with the culture, right? Civilization is not connected with culture, but culture is connected with civilization. पहले culture civilization आता है, फिर हमारा culture आता है, but definitely they are working vice versa. दोनों साथ में चलते हैं. You cannot imagine your civilization without culture and your culture with civilization, because we are taking some of the important facts and some of the important things from the civilization and some of things from the culture. Culture represents what we have already. हमारे पास जो है, civilization what we have, जो हमारे पास था. will accumulate it. Culture represents the end. What is the end? That values, the way we are talking, the way we stand, the food we have, the culture we have. And what about the goals, everyone? When we discuss about the goals, we're specifically focusing on the aims. And civilization represents the tools and techniques, everyone, that help in achieving the end. What are the tools that we have? Right? Our food culture, our song, our tradition, our festivals, and the techniques, that the way we are celebrating the things. Right? हम दीपावली दशहरा मनाते so that we have a techniques, the way you are celebrating the things. Fine. So these are the tools and techniques. The tools and the techniques that we are getting, that we carried forward from the civilization, not from the culture. The tools and the techniques that we are getting from the civilization, we are improving daily basis. But we cannot, we cannot change anything directly कि भाई ये जो है वैसे ही हमारा होना चाहिए हमेशा की तरह या हमेशा के लिए. Now, before going to start the session, everyone, I would just like to mention about the Exampur preparation app. This app is very important. You can see that on the screen. Exampur Sarkari Naukri preparation app, you can download with the Play Store. You can install or register. You can install it. You can register with your phone number and email ID. And okay, you can just let's register yours. Later on, you can register yourself. You can ask the doubts and the question with our calling team. You can connect with the teachers on the Zoom links, and definitely you can just explore the app, which is completely beneficial for the students who are looking their government jobs as the dream. And I can definitely make sure, everyone, if you are just going to install it and register yourself, definitely this Exampur preparation Sarkari Naukri app going to be fulfill the dream of your government jobs. Now, I think I already discussing the question, everyone. So what we are going to discuss in this question, first of all, it is very important to understand the approach of the question. Approach of the question, that what the question exactly want to understand, right? What do you understand by the question? Number two, it is very important to understand the introduction, right? Introduction, what your perception with the question. Approach, where we understanding the things, where we understand that what the question is exactly want to ask you, right? Understand and what the question is exactly want to ask you. Fine. And what about the introduction, everyone? Introduction is all about the wholesome, I think, crux of the question. कि आपको समझ में क्या आया है, what do you exactly want to understand with the question, कि सवाल कहना क्या चाहता है. Fine. So introduction is all about, we can say, the initial understanding with the question. So your question is directly asking on what? Your question is directly asking on the linkages of the civilization. Link of the three of the civilization. Right? And what about the mid body? You have to explain basically about the civilization. First of all, civilization what? Indus Valley civilization. Fine. Then you will try to we connect Indus Valley civilization with Mesopotamia and the Egyptian civilization. Egyptian civilization, right? In the mid body. In the mid body, after the mid body, it is very important to discuss about the similarities. How the similarities are working actually. How the similarities in the Mesopotamia, in the Egyptian or the Indus Valley civilization, how the similarities are occurred actually. So how the similarities are occurred when you start explaining about the society. Society means when we're discussing about the social custom, the social status of the rest of the three of the civilization, right? About the economy, where we discuss about the approach of the economy, the dependency of the economy, the basic source of the economy, how the economy is existing there, and what is the educational facilities that exactly provided by the we can say the monarch class, by the we can say the higher class, and other part the common people, how they can survive with the help of economy, right? Later on when we discuss about the polity. See, in the Indus Valley civilization, Egyptian civilization, we are not getting any of the higher authority that helps to control the whole of the civilization. But whenever we discuss about the Mesopotamia, we have already the evidences that we have a people who help to controlling the whole sum of the area. Right? So this is somehow a very important part of our discussion, everyone. And what about the administration? See, administration is not only the part of the controlling, but definitely we have a wholesome of the, I think moreover, I think 100 of the reasons on the river of the Indus Valley civilization. We completely expanded not only the western part, the northwest section, the Central Asia, the Persian, the rest of the in the Southeast Asia. We have a Pakistan, Baluchistan, Karachi, Afghanistan. We have a rest of the, I think, part of the whole of the India completely separated with the culture, with the, we can say the, with the reasons, with the innovations, with the excavations. So it is a very important to assigning any of the person who can control the things. So we can definitely make sure that we cannot find out any of the terminologies like ministers and the MPs, the MLAs, but definitely when we're discussing about the whole of the administration, definitely we're looking at the terminologies like monarch, the priest, and that we found in the excavations earlier. So this is somehow a very important part of our discussion. And culture again a very important and interesting factor. We are proceeding the culture, the tradition, the food, the jewelry, the participation of the gender, male and female. This is somehow a very important part of our discussion of the three of the civilization. I think I already showing the image, everyone, how the image is exactly working with each other. Now, it's a discovery in 20th century is one of the most enthralling events of the history. In 1853, Cunningham, a British engineer, was become an excavator and noticed what? Harappan seal. The seal showed a bull and the 6 little letters that we cannot decipher yet. But it's the important was not released by Cunningham. Cunningham thought कि ठीक है कुछ मिल गया है and it is just like this and that. But later on, what is showing on that this 6 little letters which cannot decipher yet, it is such a very world oldest and vast civilization that we yet not saw anywhere seeing it anywhere else. You can see I think this map is totally clear, everyone. And this is such a very interesting part of our interest, that how we can correlating with each other, the world civilization, how it is completely correlating. We cannot forget about Indus Valley civilization. You have again the Mesopotamian civilization, the connectivity that you can see with the help of Arabian Sea, and the Mesopotamian with the help of the Egyptian. This is such a very important part of our discussion, the early states of the old world history, that how they can completely correlating with each other. Now, Mesopotamian civilization that I already told you that we have already, जो हमारे पास पहले से है, complex societies with the cities, complex societies that we have, governments, art, religion, class division, and a writing system that we have. The rivers were used for travel, trade, commerce, now, and good farming condition, because the whole monarch system is providing the interesting irrigation facilities to both of the sections, the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian civilization. And definitely we can say the good part of a farming and the irrigation facilities that we saw already in the Indus Valley civilization and in the Mesopotamian civilization, and the we can say surely the rest of the part of the Egyptian civilization. Right? You can see, everyone, a very close caption, I think. The ancient Mesopotamia. This is the half of the part that I would like to show on the the Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea with the Indus Valley civilization. You can see the connectivity, that how it is completely connected with the Persian Gulf. This is Sumer, Uru, Ur, and Eridu. Babylonian, civilization. The Tigris River, definitely you can see that, and the Assyrian, you can see that this is somehow a very prominent part of a interest factor, that how the Tigris River, how the civilization on the Tigris River of Mesopotamia completely expanded itself. Now, Indus Valley civilization. How the Indus Valley civilization is completely correlating with each other. See, whenever we're discussing about the Indus Valley civilization is not only the part of the, you can see that the Harappan in 1921 is just ensuring us that how it is completely correlating with each other. In 1921, an Indian archaeological Dairam Sahani started excavating the site of the Harappan in Montgomery district in the West Punjab, and the civilization is also called the Harappan civilization because the civilization discovered what? The first in 1921 at the modern sites of the Harappan situated in the province of the Punjab and Pakistan. You can see the clear visual, everyone, of the Harappan civilization, that how exactly is expanded. You can see the Harappan civilization on the Indus River, the expansion of the whole Harappan civilization. This is the rest of the part of the the Western Ghat, everyone. This is the part, you can say, the Western Ghat, the whole of the rest of the Western Ghats. The western part, we can say that. This is whole about the northwest section, and this is the expansion till the Pakistan, Baluchistan, Sindh, we can say the Afghanistan, Kandahar, Kabul. Yet this is somehow expanded civilization of the Harappa, where we can definitely not forget about the Iranian Zandavesta and the Indus Valley civilization of Harappan, the Rigvedic age, and definitely we can correlating the rest of the part of Mesopotamia and the Egyptian civilization. So definitely you can see the expansion of the civilization, how it is exactly extended later on. Now, see, this is you can see the very beautiful image, everyone, on the screen, and this image is somehow representing the correlation of what? See, whenever we're looking the seals and the coins, they are representing not only कि भाई ये जो चीज है यहाँ से हमें मिली है, that we find from excavation from Harappan civilization, that we found from the Indus Valley civilization or the Mohenjo-daro or the Dholavira, but definitely the 6 of the digits that you can see on the screen, everyone, which is completely not disappear. हम पढ़ नहीं पाए अभी तक. This is completely not disappear. Just a minute. Right, this is completely not disappear. But just because of the disappear, surely we can connected the Indus Valley civilization culture, or the civilization is based on the agriculture, because in the images like hummed bull, the images like rhino, we have a pet and the evidences of the pet animals that we get. So surely the correlation with the bullock carts, the correlation with the hummed bull, showing that direct correlation with the agriculture, that people are very much familiar about the just animal husbandry, and without the bullock carts and without the help of the hummed bull and the oxes, they cannot survive in the agriculture. And that I earlier told you that Harappan civilization, that moreover the 90% of the people completely dependent on what? Completely dependent on the agriculture. And agriculture is not only dependent on agriculture, but agriculture is definitely is just showing the part of a trade and commerce with the Mesopotamian and with the Egyptian culture. So seals and the coins and the things that we found from the excavation, the artifacts that we found from the excavation is definitely showing the somehow the connectivity of what? The connectivity with the agriculture, the connectivity with the rest, some of the part of it. That how the civilization is exactly expanded, how it is the civilization is completely flourished. Right? Now, you can see the, I think the closed caption everyone of the Harappan civilization. That you can say the town planning, that it is somehow a very keen and important feature of Harappan civilization, the town planning. And the just because of the town planning, definitely it is showing us the rest, we can say the path of urbanization. That's why we are considering the whole of the Harappan civilization as the first urbanization of the world, where the people are using the burnt bricks, where the people are very much intelligent about that, how the drainage system is exactly working in the towns, and how the things are just going on the 90-degree transmissions, and how it is going to be work for the local people. The people, those are just carry forward ahead on the high level, and how the differentiation is exactly working. That someone is sitting there on the high level, or in the monarch, or in the political system, that they are somewhere controlling the whole of the system of the town planning, the drainage system, the religious, the cultural, and the trade and commerce, everything. And somewhere providing the irrigation facilities to the people, that we already getting the evidence in the Mesopotamia, or getting the evidences in the rest of the part of the Egyptian civilization. I think I already explained the slide everyone about the Indus Valley civilization and how it is working exactly. You can see everyone on the screen. I think this is completely visible everyone, and audible as well. The artifacts that I'm showing you on the screen, that how the artifacts is exactly working. See, I think these are a very common pictures. I think you saw numbers of the time in the civilization of the Indus. When we showing the connectivity with the bullock carts, the humped bulls, you can see that the birds, which is showing the correlation with the rest of the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian civilization, that how they are very much lovable about the nature. And whenever we sing about the finish, we can say the finishing work that we can see in the crafts and the artisans, we can say that, and the pottery. And it is a very important to understand that why we getting the evidences of the pottery, how the people are very much aware about the the color work, that how the color is exactly working. So surely it is not only showing the connectivity with the agriculture, that the ox and the bullock carts and the humped bulls are playing a very important and crucial vital role in the agriculture, but definitely the work culture of the Harappan civilization, the social aspects, the economic aspects of the Harappan people, the formation of the granary system, that we have a very good evidences of a big granary system in the Mohenjo-daro. It is somehow showing the settled life of the people, that people are very much aware, very much skilled and interested to make themselves more settled, and they do not want to move here and there after 1 month, after 2 months. They want to live their life in a very settled way. That's why they are somewhere introducing the potteries. We can say that the rest of the granary part, there they can store the whole of the grains for long and long time, so that if any type of the famine, the weather, we can say the problems like weather related, if the problem like famine, and if the any of the traditions, and for the trade and commerce, they can store their grains for the further expansion and for further upliftment. So this is somehow very interesting factor that we can see on the screen. Harappan civilization was a bronze civilization. We're very much aware about it. But whenever we look at the map, everyone, the rest of the Gangetic region of the Harappan civilization, the more and more people, the more and the more people, dependent on the same civilization. And why they are doing exactly, why they are why it has happened exactly. This is happened exactly because the lower Gangetic region of the northern part of India, it is not only fertile, but definitely you can the weapons of the wood, I think, exactly very much sufficient for the production of the crops and the growth of the production of the agricultural part. And on the other hand, Mesopotamian civilization was the regional situated within the Tigris Euphrates rivers, and today's most of the Iraqian, Kuwaitian, southeast, southwest, we can say the Turkish regions along with the Turkish Syrian, Iran, Iraq borders. It was also one of surely the oldest civilization of the world that is not showing the keen interest in the civilization, but seriously this civilization representing the whole world, the economy, the culture, the political administrative part in a very different and diverse spaces, different and diverse perspective. Okay, geographical extent that I already mentioned you, so I'm not going to explain again and again, everyone. Now, it is very important to discuss about the Indus Valley civilization versus Mesopotamian civilization. How it is completely correlating with each other. How can we show the correlation with both of the civilization? And how the town planning, how the market policy, how the the urbanization is exactly working with each other. See, political and economic comparison. How can we compare anything? How can we compare the political and the economic comparison with the Mesopotamian civilization with the Harappan civilization? Right, the time period of Mesopotamia, the Egyptian and the IBC is exactly same. There is no doubt at all. But whenever we discuss about the formation of the economy, the political comparison, it is specifically not only different with each other, but definitely it is showing the part of the interest, how the things are exactly working, everyone. See, whenever we're discussing about the political formation of Indus Valley civilization, we know very well that we don't have any evidences of the monarchs, we don't have any evidences of the political formation, that someone is there that who helps to control the whole of the civilization. Fine, I hope you're getting my point. And on the another way, when I am discussing about the economic artifacts of the Indus Valley civilization, it is definitely showing us that how the economic culture of the Indus Valley civilization is based on the agriculture. And agriculture is somewhere helping the Indus Valley civilization to expand their trade and commerce more and more. But now let's come ahead in the, we can say the Mesopotamian and the Egyptian and the Indus Valley civilization all developed a river system, Tigris River on Mesopotamia, Indus and the Indus Valley and the Egyptian on the Arabian Sea, Persian Gulf, got the assured the adequate water supply for agriculture. Right, and if you have a fertile land, you have a sufficient, the water supply. If you are very much skilled that you know that कि हमें कब क्या जो है पैदा करना है जमीन पर, how can we use our irrigation facilities, all are developed political structure for organization or labor of a provide irrigation system. So as per the evidences, definitely we can say that that definitely the political structure is working there. Political structure, it doesn't mean that we are getting the terminology like MPs हैं, MLAs हैं, committee members हैं. There is no evidences. Political structure means that we have some high authorities in the Indus, in the Mesopotamia or in the Egyptian civilization, that what is showing you, they are showing the correlation. The political structure is very important to providing the exact structural format of introduction कि चीजें कैसे काम कर रही हैं and what you needed actually. Kingship developed as the political leadership system of both Egyptian and Mesopotamian, though Egyptian kings were believed to what? Divine in origin, while the Mesopotamian rulers were not. See, Mesopotamian rulers were exactly showing the monarchness, the aristocracy system, and just discussing about the power of handful power that is completely consolidated in one hand. But whenever we're discussing about the IVC or the Egyptian civilization, we are looking at the divine person, that we have a sculptures like Pashupati, we have sculptures like we can say that the Pashupati and the priest, that somehow showing the assumption कि हो सकता है कि ऐसे लोग थे, that helps to hold the whole of the civilization, but we don't have any real evidences of it because the script of the IVC is still deciphered. But whenever we're discussing about the Mesopotamian, they are completely clear out that we have a system like monarch, we have a system like a political structure that helps to hold the command, control the whole of the social, the economic, the administrative, the political, the cultural aspects of the common people, and they somehow maintaining the social strata and system in the whole of the civilization in the Mesopotamian as well. Okay, now there's a differentiation between Mesopotamian civilization and the we can say that in the Harappan civilization. Okay, Mesopotamian and Harappan civilization, it was ruled by a king, right? And whenever we're discussing about the differentiation, that how the differentiation is exactly working, everyone. The Mesopotamian and the Harappan civilization, it was ruled by a king and it was ruled by traders. And Mesopotamian is the rammed earth techniques were used to make their cities, and baked bricks were used to make their cities. There's a differentiation, and they did not have a standardized weights. But on the another basis, whenever we're discussing about the Harappan civilization, that they use the standardization weights, that when we discuss about the cubes, and canal system was in practice, right, and the drainage system was in practice. This is the somehow important features of the Harappan civilization. The rich and metals like gold, copper, etc., and they were not rich, that they had a import the gold from Mesopotamian Egyptian civilization from the northern areas of Afghanistan or the Gujarat, etc. They lasted up to 500 BC, everyone, and this lasted well until 1900 BC. So you can also imagine the differentiation between both the civilization. This is all about the differentiation and gap. Moreover, the 1400 years, we can say the expansion, and this the survival of the whole of the Harappan civilization. So definitely we cannot say that we have a limited sources, but whenever we're discussing about the expansion, so any of the civilization looking its survival on the expansion, that we have irrigation facilities, that what type of irrigation facilities we have, what type of the economic sources we have, is there any political structure that helps to controlling the all of the things and the structural formats. So we have a numerous of the contribution that we can see in the Mesopotamian or in the Egyptian civilization. Right, now let's move ahead. It is such a very important slide, everyone. I think if the directly question will ask on the mains perspective, कि भाई आपको कंपैरिजन बताना है. सो एंड if you don't have any very much remembrance that you are not able to express the expansion and the differentiation, कि दोनों में differentiation क्या क्या हो सकते हैं. So surely you can just go ahead while explaining 2 or 3 points. We can say 4 points are enough to showing the differentiation between both the we can say the civilization, the Harappan and the Mesopotamian. So this is somehow a very important part of our discussion, everyone. Now, the origination and valued, I think I already explained you about the 4 of the stages. Later on, I will explain you one more time. And just a minute. Now, this is the differentiation in what? The Mesopotamian and the Egyptian civilization. How can we differentiate with each other? See, agriculture and the Mesopotamian civilization. The land between the rivers Tigris and the Euphrates from the fertile crescent and artificial irrigation. Right, in the Mesopotamia. Egyptian gift of the Nile River and the artificial irrigation again. Specialization. The pottery, we can say, the textile, the woodworking, leather, brick making, stone cutting and masoning. And pottery, textile, woodworking, leather production, stone cutting and masoning. And whenever we discuss about the IVC, if I am discussing about IVC, everyone, there is no artificial irrigation. So this point is completely missing in Indus Valley civilization. Cities, we can say the numerous densely populated city-states, Ur and Babylonia. Fewer cities were high centralization. We can say that the Thebes and the Ephesus. And this is all about the, we can say the Mesopotamian and Egyptian. But whenever we discuss about IVC, these are the civilization where moreover 100 of the regions. We have a Harappa, Dholavira, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Rangpur, Rakhigadi, Banawali, Rojdir, we have Kotji, we have a West Afghanistan section, we have Balochistan, Mehergarh we have, right? And we have a numerous of the regions that we can found, and we have a numerous of the cultures as well that we cannot forget about the Inamgaon, we cannot forget about the urbanized marketplace where the people are completely participating, contributing themselves, and they are just separated everything with each other. And what are the social hierarchy? The noble class, the patriarchal and the slaves, absolutely authority of the pharaoh made noble class is unnecessary, and patriarchal but presence of the queen. So definitely we can definitely looking for the control of the monarch system, that they're not only controlling the Mesopotamian civilization but also controlling the Egyptian civilization. But whenever we're looking for the Indus Valley civilization, we don't have any monarch system, we don't have any political structure, that we don't have any evidences. I'm discussing about the evidences, right? Now, the ancient Egyptians were one of the most important civilization of the past, and they were famous for tombs, for the monuments, and the mummifications. We can say the pyramids that we earlier considered as the mummies. And the ancient Egyptians lived along with the banks of the river Nile. And the ancient Egyptians lived around the 500 BC. So we have a numerous of the examples that we can see that. Now, you can see a very good image on the screen, everyone. This is such a very beautiful image that you can see on the screen. And this is somehow representing the whole some culture of the Egyptian civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization that we can see on the screen. You can see about the art and architecture, the king and the queen, the people just showing their tradition on the screen, and the art and culture you can see on the screen, everyone. The color formation, the way of dressing sense, right? And we have numerous of the things that we can discuss earlier in the Egyptian civilization or in the Mesopotamian civilization. Okay. Before going to go ahead, everyone, I would like to mention about the Mantra NCERT batch. And whenever we're discussing about the features, these features are very important because it is not only the basic understanding of the NCERT, but definitely this is also providing you the practice workbook, everyone, the daily live session, to the point NCERT when we are representing everything with the help of the PPT that I'm representing earlier in front of you, and the daily classes PDF that you getting after you will get later on after the live sessions on the application. And students are asking about the benefits and the specification of the batch. So NCERT batches, I think moreover, I would like to define the whole of the NCERT batch in 5 points. The first thing, when we are not only giving you the wholesome conceptual knowledge of the NCERT, but definitely this NCERT section is also providing you the whole of the the answer writing section. Definitely we are going to provide you the wholesome the squeezeness of the whole of the NCERT section. The topic we are going to go ahead, we are just going to hold ourselves with the important subjects of the information, the topic, the things they are asking number of the times in the examination point of view. And the answer writing, we are definitely focused on the answer writing. And the Zoom meeting definitely help you to connect with the teachers, and definitely you can ask your doubts everyone with us. And we have I think moreover a time period of 1 year, and this 1 year time phase that we are ensuring you that we are definitely providing you not only the quality content, but definitely we will try to be aware about each and every aspects of the NCERT, where you have to be focused, where is a need to focus more, because in the market and in the social media we have a numerous of the channels, numerous of the teachers, but make sure everyone that Exampur is giving you somehow very interesting and very specific things in very marginalized prices. This is not only help you people to grow yourself, but definitely it is the initiative of the Exampur that is going to provide you the things in a very very minimized rates. Moreover, 1200 MCQs, I think questions is giving to help you everyone to not only solving the concepts, but definitely it will help you in the prelims examinations. And 525 plus live sessions and class PDFs and the daily live study plans. Plans are very important for specifically UPSC examination. And why it is important? Because whenever you start anything in a very planned perspective, it is somehow the live sessions, the class PDFs is not only help you to clear your all the doubts, but definitely it will help to connect you people with the teachers. The validity of the 12 months that I already explained to you, and this is almost about 2,000 rupees minimum prices. I think it is such a very great initiative of the Exampur, and Vipin sir, Zubair sir, Amrendra sir, Sujit sir, they are taking the respective subjects. Our respective teachers will take your the respective subjects, and these subjects are not only showing you the glance of the NCERT, but definitely you will feel connected with the subject, and that this is somehow the responsibility of the teacher, that how they can show in the connectivity with the subject. And registration is a very simple, everyone. Definitely you can download the Exampur preparation app, everyone, with the on Play Store. You can register with your mobile number and with your email ID. You can go ahead with the different batches. You can join your paid course, and definitely don't forget to use the code NCERT50. And after using the code NCERT50, you can just go with the payment mode, with the UPI, with the Phone Pay, with the Google Pay, in any of the payment mode that you are using presently. And after using the by paying later on, you can just going to purchase the course, everyone. And after purchasing the course, definitely you can just check out the demos first, that how the teachers are teaching you. But definitely, everyone, I would just like to ensure one more important thing, that Exampur have a very a very quality faculty. Then they have very much awareness about the subject, that the gist of the subject. And definitely when you will join the demo classes and the paid batches, surely you will get aware about the potential of the Exampur and the initiative of the Exampur, that it is completely taken for the student. Those are not getting moreover 1 lakh rupees of the course. That initiative of the Exampur is providing the whole sum of the course within rupees 2,000. So this is such a very big deal, everyone. Now, before going to conclude the section, everyone, okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. I added already numbers of the slides actually, and it's difficult to. Just a minute. Give me a moment. So what we done earlier, everyone, it is very important to discuss. The whole of the Harappan civilization right, the whole of the Harappan civilization, that time the first is the pre-Harappan phase. The later on we can definitely divide in the mature Harappan phase, and the third is the declining phase. The pre-Harappan phase is surely defining your what is completely relating with the nomads to rural. That the Mehergarh is a very good example of it. Mature, when we have a numerous of the objectives, everyone, the Harappa, the Dholavira we have. You can see the image of a Mehergarh on the screen. The first rural, you can see the features of the Mehergarh is exactly dependent on the rural class. When the people are not very much aware about the bricks, the baked bricks, right? And origin and evaluation, evolution, mature Harappan stage, the time phase is completely 2600 to 1900, everyone. And characterization of the emergence of a great cities and urban centers, and some of the urban cities are represented by Harappan, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Rakhigadi, and the excavation of the Kalibanga with its elaborated town planning and urban features also provide is what evidences of the phases of the evaluation. Later in Harappan stages, post 1800 market begin of the later on Indus civilization. Evaluation visible with excavation of Lothal. Lothal is a port area. Civilization did not disappear overnight. Many elements that our civilization cannot still be found later until 1980. Mature Harappan. So we have a numerous of the names. If I'll start to count down, see, first of all, we have a Harappa. We can say Harappan civilization, right? We have a Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, okay, Lothal, Kalibanga, Banawali in Haryana or in Punjab, we can say that. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, see. They both are the towns are in Pakistan. Dholavira and Lothal, they are in Gujarat. Kalibanga in Rajasthan. And what about everyone, Banawali? It is in Haryana. So what we judge with the image, the explanation exactly. The whole of the northwest section, right? The half of the northern part, we can say that. Or the north section, also we can say the north section. And the rest of part of what? About the western part and the Gangetic region. Okay. So if you have any of the idea about the map, the Indian map, you cannot forget about the northwest section of the Himalayan section of the part, the western part of the Rajasthan, Gujarat, Dholavira, Lothal, right, Maharashtra. We cannot forget about the part of the Gangetic region, the lower Gangetic and other upper Gangetic region. So these are the expansion of the mature Harappan phases, right? And one more important thing, in the mid body, when you start to writing about the features, in the mid body, what you are going to write down about, make the heading, for example, the features of mature Harappan phase. So what are the features? What are the features of the mature Harappan phase? The town planning we have. Like the drainage system, or we can say the water supply. Right, the agriculture we have. The irrigation facilities. Okay, the trade and commerce. So these are somehow the important features we can say in the mature Harappan phase, which is completely not ignorable, right? And it is a must to mention all the features. Town planning. Town planning is basically based not only the structure but also the burnt bricks. We have the evidences like burnt bricks. Water supply, so surely all of the 90-degree transitions. Agriculture, based on, we have a definitely examples of granary system. Irrigation facilities we have, right, and the trade and commerce. Okay. Now, I think I already explained you everyone about the map. So this is a real image of Harappan civilization. You can say that. What I am discussing here about the town planning system. What I am discussing here about the town planning system. The town planning system, which is showing was what? The upper town, and what they want to showing us? Lower town for what? For common people. Lower town for what? For common people, the middle class people, the people who completely dependent on the agriculture, right? For the common people. And for the upper class, we can surely say that the upper town people who are belong from rich class, we can say that. The monarch class, surely we can say that. And definitely we can connect the people with somehow with the political structure, right? So this is somehow a very important part of information. Definitely that we can say that. Now, okay, this is the next image of we can say that Kalibanga. Yes, this is the image of a Kalibanga, everyone. Kalibanga. Which is in Rajasthan. You can see the best water supply, we can say that. that image is just a minute. I would like to use the black color first of all. The perfect water system. This is also not visible. The water system, we can say that. Okay. I'll just mention that, everyone. The water drainage system, right, of Rakhigadi. This is one of the best example we can say. They say that in the Harappan civilization, which is showing the connectivity with the drainage system or the water supply system, that you can see that the example of the wells, right, and the examples of the, we can say how the water is completely just went out in a particular sewerage and the completely controlled by the higher class or the monarch system. So this is somehow a very perfect example that I am giving you of the Rakhigadi, which is situated in Rajasthan. Now the next image that I would like to show you, okay, this is not about the Rakhigadi. This is all about the Kalibanga, right? It is also in Rajasthan. And Rakhigadi, it is definitely showing the part of the bricks, the burnt bricks that we want to show us on the screen. And this is famous not only for the burnt bricks, but also famous for the town planning. Also very much famous for the we can say that about the factory system that we found lots of beads from it. And this is also very much famous for the town planning system, right? So this is such a very important and prominent part of a Harappan civilization that I would like to introduce you. Now let's move ahead, everyone. This is a very clear image that I can show you of the mature Harappan phase, everyone. I would like to zoom the map first of all. I hope it will be visible to everyone. तो थोड़ा सा छोटा कर लेते हैं. Okay. Okay, that's it. See, so this is all about the, you can see the Harappan civilization, right? And the more prominent, more we can see the part of the mature Harappan phase. So we cannot forget the name of what? Dholavira, Sutkoda, we have a Lothal, Amri, Kodiji, Mohenjo-daro, Banavali, we have Ropar, Lakhimpur, right? So Rakhigadi as well, Kalibanga. These are somehow very prominent name that we can say that it is very important to mention in the Harappan civilization, everyone. Okay, now you can see the both the images, everyone, about the town planning. Or we can see the structure of the town of the Mohenjo-daro. This is the next image you can see on the screen, everyone, which is more visible, I think. From the above, you can see the whole of the image of the Harappan civilization that I would like to mention. I would like to mention with the some of the definite reason that why it is completely called as the bestest town planning of the whole of the world best civilization that you can see on the screen, everyone. The whole, they are completely diverted the things in the two sections that we are known as the upper town, right? And this is for the lower town. We can say the so upper town for whom? Why they are creating the different parts of the upper and lower town. Upper people for the, we can say the priest, the monarch, we can say that, the rich people, the traders, right? And whenever we discuss about the lower section of the town, we cannot forget about whom? The middle class, the people who completely merge themselves in the agriculture. These are somehow the part of the explanation. And whenever we discuss about the transmission of the roads, they are completely cut on the 90-degree of the angle. You can see that, everyone. I think this is somehow very easy to mention that I'm taking a picture from the above. right? You can mention it. This is somehow the part of the transmission of a 90-degree angle that they try to be creating the roads and everything. Lothal is basically famous for what? Lothal is a dockyard, we can say that. It's famous for what? The trade, and famous for what? The commerce, we can say that. And famous for what? For bead factory. We have evidences of a bead factory, and more important thing, the granary that we found, the granary system, right? So, and Lothal is in Gujarat. Is in Gujarat, right? So this is somehow a very prominent picture of a Lothal. Okay, almost every city of the Indus civilization was surrounded by massive walls and gateways to control trade and to provide protection from floods and the military invasions. And one of the most important characteristics, we can say, that of Harappan culture, the use of a burnt bricks and almost all kind of construction. Stone building were absent during that time because we don't have any evidences of stones. Another remarkable feature, we can say that the houses and the drainage which were either covered by the bricks or the stone slabs, that I already showing the picture of Rakhi Gadi and the Kalibanga, that somehow the bestest example of it. Okay, now next, drainage system that I already shown you everyone about Rakhi Gadi, and this is the form of a gateway, that how the upper class and how the middle class people not only bifurcated, we can say that, but this type of a gateway, somehow they are making us for their own savior, for the foreign invaders. जब तक किसी भी तरफ कोई अटैक होता है, they will try to save themselves in a very easiest way. Okay, this is the another example of a granary system that we found from where? That we found from Mohenjo-daro. That you can see everyone, this is somehow the one of the largest granary system that we found from Mohenjo-daro. And Mohenjo-daro is one of a very prominent part of urban civilization, where the whole sum of agriculture, the dependency of the people on the agriculture is a very, we can say, the vast, and the people merging themselves in the granary, enhancing the granary system to make the, investing themselves in the agriculture. And this is somehow presenting a very, good picture that you can see on the screen. It is somehow a very good example of a granary system. This is all about the Indus Valley artifacts that you can see everyone on the screen. Okay. You can see on the screen about the artifacts of the culture that you can see on the screen. The images that you can see about the seals, about the bullock cart that you can see on the screen. Mother goddess, the example that we earlier discussed about the religious aspects of the Harappan civilization. About the priest that we try to be connect the priest with the upper town, mother goddess, where we are looking the status of the women, right? This is all about the bullock cart connected with whom? The agriculture. This is a very good example of a rhino that completely showing the animal husbandry, animal presence, and definitely connected with the whole sum of agriculture. That how the agriculture, the role of the priest, the role of a mother goddess, and the role of a bullock cart is completely help us in increasing the surplus production of the agriculture, right? Now, okay, this is the rest of the other example of everyone of the seals. We can see that the language that we found, you can see on the screen, the language that we found. Okay, the language, we can say the alphabets that we found on the seals It's still not deciphered, everyone. It's just not still deciphered. Right. So definitely you can see the image of a rhino. Okay. You can see the image of ox as well. This is the image of an elephant. You can say that. Right. And this is the just a minute, elephant. Okay. This is also image of elephant. This is the humped bull, and you can say oxes as well. Humped bull, you can say that. This is somehow is showing the correlation with whom? Showing the correlation with the agriculture. The prominent role. किसके लिए था ये? Surplus production के लिए. The increasement in the surplus production, right? So this is somehow a very prominent, very important example of it. Now you can see about the tools and the structures. The tools, we can say that the artifacts that we found from the excavation, these are made with woods and the copper. And the coppers. Fine. This is also showing with the correlation with what? With the agriculture. This is showing the fertility of the lands, the dependency of the people on agriculture, and the life is completely dependent of Harappan civilization on the agriculture, the surplus production. And how agriculture is helping you in trade, in commerce, export and import, right? Now, this is another example of a jewelry that we found in the in a Harappan civilization, and this is not only the artifacts of the jewelry; it is showing somehow the correlation, the cultural aspects of the Indus Valley civilization. And the male and the female, they both are very much fascinated to wearing the jewelry, right? They are very much fascinated to wearing jewelry. And the evidences that we found of the beads, everyone, where we found the evidences, that we have a very good example of a Rakhi Gadi and the Lothal, that where we found the beads factory, that how the beads are making, the making beads of a factory that we found nearby the Lothal, because Lothal was not only the dockyard that was situated in the Arabian Sea, Gujarat of Kutch, definitely we cannot forget it about the name. And this is somehow showing the similarities, the jewelry artifacts with the Mesopotamian culture and the Egyptian culture as well. So this is a very good example of it, everyone. Now, again, about the artifacts, I think it's a very common example that I already mentioned you. Okay, and this is all about the very beautiful, we can say, the picture. This is not about picture, not tasveer wala picture, it's a picture of a, we can say, the portrait system that we found in the Harappan civilization. And this is not the common image of the Harappan civilization, but similarly, we can find out the images of the pottery, not only the Egyptian civilization, but also we found the pottery system, or we can say the uses of the pottery in the Egyptian civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization. Why we are saying that? Because Mesopotamian civilization, the Egyptian civilization, and the civilization like Harappa, they three of the civilization completely dependent on the agriculture, right? In the Mesopotamian civilization and the Egyptian civilization that I earlier mentioned you, the whole of the irrigation system was completely, maintained by whom? Maintained by the monarch system, by the king. Right. So what about the usages of the other classes? That we have a usages of the other classes. Like in the Indus Valley civilization, the middle class people and the Egyptian civilization, the rest of the people, they're completely merging themselves in the agriculture. And how the agriculture is supporting them with the Nile River, Egyptian civilization situated on the Nile River, IVC on the Indus, and we have a very good example of a Mesopotamia on the Tigris River. So this is somehow a very much correlation in the agriculture, that how the rivers are helped to increasing the surplus production of the whole of the civilization. And agriculture is not only increasing the surplus production, agriculture is not only enhancing the surplus production, but agriculture is what is helping us in the trade we can say that, and in the, no, exactly not saying the trade. Agriculture is helping us to increasing the surplus of production of grains, and this is exactly working for whom? The trade, the commerce, the export and the import, right? So definitely if they are producing more and more grains, कि भाई हम 200 क्विंटल का अनाज पैदा करें तो सब तो खाएंगे नहीं, definitely they will store something. तो क्या स्टोर करेंगे? घड़ों में स्टोर करेंगे. So that why they are storing all these things? For the long time settlements, long time settled lives, right? So that they will survive more, they will survive for long time, right? Now this is the another image of a measurement, everyone, that how the measuring system of anything is important for us, right? How the measuring system of anything is important for us. Okay. Which is, you can see on the screen, everyone. In the Mesopotamian culture, that we don't have any, the evidences of measurement. I hope you remember it. But whenever we discuss about the rest of the part of the, the cubes, this is a very good example of the measurement system that we follow in the Indus Valley civilization. And the measuring system is exactly giving the definition of the trade and commerce. How the people are very much proficient, how the people are very much skilled and using of the techniques, about the the geometrics, the mathematical things, about the measurement, about the countings. They are such a very intelligent people. That's why somewhere we are counting the Indus Valley civilization a very civilized people as well, right? That you can see on the screen. And I think the very much people are aware about the Ludo system. In the COVID-19, we all are aware about the Ludo system, everyone, that how the Ludo system is exactly working now. So this is another example that I would just like to ensure with this quote, that it is not only giving the evidences for the settled life, but surely it is giving the rest of the evidences of the people about the color combination, right? कि अगर मैं I know if I'm enough intelligent, I know it is not possible to work कि भाई आप white के ऊपर white pen चलाएंगे तो how is it visible? But the people like Indus Valley civilization, they are very much mature and enough intelligent about the work of work of color combination, how the colors are exactly working, and they are definitely working with different things that you can see on the screen, that I already mentioned you about the needs of the portrait. And this is such a very important map that you can see on the screen, everyone, that how you can correlating the culture with each other. You can see about the Anatolia, right? You can see about the Iranian plateau, about the Khyber Pass, Tochi, Bolan, Darra, जो हम कहते हैं. Hindu Kush we have, Harappan civilization, Mohenjo-daro. It's whole about the northwest section, about the, we can say the northwest part of the whole of the Asia. Deccan Plateau, we cannot forget about the western part, the Gujarat, the Lothal, Rajasthan, the Ran of Kutch. That is completely correlating with whom? The Arabian Sea. Now, the Arabian Sea is definitely correlating with one, the Persian Gulf. That you can see, everyone, with the help of the rivers. Tigris River, we can definitely see that. So what we cannot forget about the name of the Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, the connectivity that you can feel with Euphrates River, the Tigris River and Anatolia, and we cannot forget about the Nile River. How can you forget the name of the Egyptian civilization? Egyptian civilization. Right. So this is what? This is all about the Indus Valley civilization. Right. Indus Valley civilization, The connectivity with the Arabian Sea, connectivity with the northwest section, the Iranian plateau, right? We cannot forget about the Zen, the Vesta. Now the Egyptian civilization, everyone, you can see on the screen. Fine. And about the Anatolia, the Egyptian civilization, you can see the connectivity of the sources, that how the Western Ghat is completely compare about the Persian Gulf with the Mesopotamia with the Egyptian and the Nile River, we can say that, and the how the three of the civilization showing the prominence and the prominency of each other, the how the civilization connected with each other. That's why somehow we are considering ourselves the richest civilization of the world. Now, this is all about the burnt bricks, the town planning. You can see that on the screen, everyone. The structural format, you can see that how they are just connected the bricks with each other, how they can just format the way of the stairs that they are mentioning on the screen. And this is all about the artifacts. We have examples of the tools. We can say that the bullock carts we have, the evidences of the rhino, the evidences of the wheels, the wooden wheels we have, the whole of the evidences that you can show about the animals. Hello, Mr. Vipin Kumar. Very good evening. About the the animals, we can say that, and animals definitely we can say that. The bullock carts, we can say that on the screen. It is completely visible to everyone, I hope so. And this is not the first time that I am showing the picture on the screen. I think the numerous and the several of the times that I already showing the picture. But definitely the picture is just representing something else. The picture is representing something, the connectivity. The picture is representing about the richness of the civilization, the dependency of the people, with whom, the connectivity, the relation with the animals, the relation with the human beings. And how the relationship with the of the animals, relationship with the human beings is showing the representation of the agriculture. And this is somehow a very vital evidence that I am showing on the in the image, that it is somehow the wooden rounded wheel that we have, the bullock carts that we have, already the cartage system, right? So it is somehow showing the representation that how the people, the miniatures, the toys that we found, the artifacts that we found from the excavation, this is somehow showing the interest factor of the people with the agriculture, with the surplus production, how the people are completely connected with each other, how the economy of the people, how the survival of the people, and how the richness in the culture is completely existing in the wholesome of the knowledge that people have already very much very much intelligent. They are already very much smart about everything, that how they can make the things, how can they are just looking for the survival in the further days. Okay, this is another example, everyone, that I am showing on the screen. And okay, so this is all about the session, everyone. I would like to leave the map with the map, everyone. And this image is very important as per the understanding of what? Understanding of the connectivity of what? Connectivity with the Indus Valley civilization, with whom? We can say with the Mesopotamian civilization and with the Egyptian civilization. Right, this is such a very important part of the understanding. The Harappan society, this is the Egyptian society, and this is the Mesopotamian society. This is such a very important part of understanding. That's why I told you numbers of the time that it is very important to understand the geographical extent of anything, and how the geographical extent is working when you very much when you have a very much good understanding of the geographical extent. Right, this is all about the map which is defining about the Harappan civilization. I'm just mentioning here IBC. Right, this is all about the Mesopotamian civilization. With M I'm denoting. This is all about the Egyptian civilization with E and G I am denoting there. This is somehow showing the correlation that how the civilization is never ever ignored, and the some of the evidence still is existing in the present society, yet that we have a very much ideology, that we learned a lot from the people, that we learned from the numerous of the social aspects, that how the things are exactly working on, right? Okay, so this is all about the session, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. And we will meet sharp tomorrow at 1 p.m. everyone, and we will discussing about rest of the part, that how the things are exactly working in the present society. And definitely we will take the another topic where we are going to discuss in a very vast manner, that how the connectivity of the subjects, how the connectivity of the civilization representing the whole of the world, and how the culture is never ever separated with the civilization. This is the duty of our people, that how we can pursuing everything in a very consistent and very continued manner. Okay, so this is all about the session. Thank you so much for joining me. We will meet sharp tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we will discuss about the some of the current affairs sessions. Thank you so much for joining me.